The last week of the regular season is upon us. Welcome into CA Hoops Weekly presented by Geico. He is Bill Potter and I'm Bobby Broyles. Bill, the long and exciting journey of the CA regular season comes to a close this weekend. But before we get to that, we have one team that has already clinched at least a share of the league's regular season title.
You're right, Bobby. It feels like yesterday we were talking about the start of conference season, and here we are with 3 more days of CA regular season play. This week should be fascinating, as not only are seeds on the line throughout the weekend, but all of these teams have not actually played each other since December. And as you mentioned, the preseason favorite in the CAA, Hofstra, lived up to the hype, winning 2 road games last week to clinch at least a share of the CAA regular season title. And the Pride enter their final 2 home games, having won 8 straight games, and can clinch the outright regular season title with wins in either game this weekend. You know, and after stumbling earlier in the month, William & Mary's refound its stride over the last 2 weeks, winning 4 straight games to wrap up a top 2 seed in the CAA championship. For just the 10th time in program history, the Tribe have now won 20 games in a season. And Delaware and Towson will enter this week tied for 3rd place, with the Blue Hens owning the tiebreaker currently because of its win at Hofstra. However, that could all change as the Tigers head to Hofstra on Thursday.
We spoke with our CA men's basketball insider, Eamon Brennan, this week and got his reaction to Hofstra's recent winning streak to another regular season title for the Pride. We welcome back our CA men's basketball insider, Eamon Brennan. And Eamon, the last 2 weeks, a lot of excitement going on around the CAA, but the headliner has to be the Hofstra Pride. 8 straight wins for Hofstra. They're 1 win away from clinching their 2nd straight CA regular season outright title. What has gone right for Hofstra? I know we talked about DeJour Bowie and Eli Pemberton, but really it's the supporting cast around them have really stepped up.
Yeah, they have. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. We have talked about DeJour Bowie and Eli Pemberton a lot this season, and they've been great. DeJour Bowie especially has been a fantastic 2-way player. As we've mentioned in the past, has emerged from last year's Conference Defensive Player of the Year to really take on a big offensive load this year. Eli Pemberton is doing his thing as usual. But Jalen Ray, Trey Coburn, and Isaac Conte, you look at the way Hofstra is put together, and I think it's really impressive because those 5 guys are all in double figures scoring. They're all among the top 25 scorers in the league, and they all play big minutes. It's a short rotation. You look at their percentage of minutes played, and all 5 of those guys are above 72% in terms of minutes played. It's a short rotation, and for some coaches that might be a bad thing, but I think there's also an argument to be made that the tighter and shorter you keep that, the more coherent you are, the more cohesive you can be as a team. And I think that's what we're seeing from Hofstra, particularly on the offensive end, where they are flirting with sort of top 50, 60 adjusted efficiency in the country, not just obviously in the league, where they're the best offensive team. So it's been a really impressive season, and I think it's been fueled not only by the star guys who are going to get the postseason awards, but by the entirety of that starting lineup and how they've really all put it together.
You can check out the entire interview with our CAA men's basketball insider, Eamon Brennan, on CASports.com and the league's social media outlets. Time to wrap up the regular season, and we take a look at all the matchups Thursday night. We begin at 6 o'clock in the Low Country as College of Charleston will look to get out of this recent losing skid. Will be at home to take on Delaware on the CBS Sports Network.
You know, it's a big one, Bobby, as they all are, and both teams have already clinched a first-round bye for the CAA championship, but Delaware and Charleston are going to be looking to build momentum heading into the conference championship. Charleston's looking for a season sweep of the Blue Hens after winning at Delaware back in December, and a win would give Charleston at least 10 CAA victories for the 4th straight year and pull the Cougars into a tie with the Blue Hens in the CAA standings. On the other end of the spectrum, a win would clinch no worse than the number 4 seed for Delaware, and depending on other results on Thursday, the Blue Hens could clinch the number 3 seed. On the Charleston side, it's Grant Riller. He enters the weekend tied for 2nd in the CAA in scoring with 21.5 points per game and is 4th in CAA history with 1,399 points. Now, Bobby, can you name the player Riller is tied in scoring with this season?
I'm assuming he's going to be on Delaware.
That's a good start.
Nate Darling.
You're right. It is Nate Darling, and Darling has been a big reason why the Blue Hens have won 20 games and 10 in CAA play for the first time since the 2013-14 season. Darling's 96 three-pointers lead the CAA as he leads 4 Blue Hens who sit in the top 20 of the CAA in scoring.
Also on Thursday night at 7 over on flowhoops.com, Hofstra will have an opportunity to capture the regular season title outright, but will take on a tough Towson squad that's coming into the Max Sports Complex.
You're right, Bobby. And all Hofstra needs on Thursday night is a win to clinch the outright CAA championship and become the 6th program in conference history to do so in back-to-back years. Of course, easier said than done against this Towson team that has already recorded 10 wins in conference play and is looking for a statement win heading into the CAA championship. Hofstra boasts 5 players ranked in the top 25 of the conference in scoring, led by the now 4-time CAA Player of the Week, DeJour Bowie. Bowie paces the CAA with nearly 6 assists per game while adding almost 19 points. His fellow senior Eli Pemberton enters the weekend 8th in the CAA with almost 17 points per game. And that senior duo is one of the reasons the Pride have won 8 straight games and own the best adjusted offensive efficiency in the CAA. The top overall scoring offense in the CAA, Hofstra is going to be tested by a Towson team that boasts the best scoring defense in the conference. You know, the Tigers are going to counter on the offensive end of the court with Brian Fobbs and Alan Beatran, and Fobbs joined Towson's 1,000-point club last week and enters the final weekend of the regular season, 10th in the CAA in scoring at almost 16 points per game. He's followed directly by his teammate Beatrand, who is the top sophomore in the CAA in scoring at over 14 points per game.
The all-important 6th seed will be the topic of this next game in Boston at 8 o'clock on Flow Hoops and Nesson Plus, as Northeastern can seal the last spot for that all-important top 6 position in the standings if they beat JMU.
You're right, Bobby. And Northeastern's magic number to clinch a first-round bye sits at 1 as we go into this game. And as we approach Thursday, the Huskies can finish anywhere from 3rd to 7th in the CAA standings. With 2 wins and 2 UNCW losses this weekend, James Madison can improve its seeding as well, so this game is definitely going to be fought for between these 2 teams.
Yep.
This one's going to feature 2 of the CAA's most dynamic guards in Jordan Rowland and Matt Lewis. Now, if Rowland can finish atop the CAA leaders in scoring, his 23.1 points per game as it stands right now would rank as the 8th best mark in CAA history. And on the other side of the ball, Matt Lewis has done it all for James Madison this season. The junior comes into Thursday night's game 5th in the CAA in scoring, 13th in rebounding, and 7th in assists.
And we wrap up with Drexel, who is trying to improve on their win total from a year ago, but they first have to go to UNCW in Trask at 7 o'clock on flowhoops.com.
You know, Bobby, and this should be a preview of a game we could see again in just over a week, and it's going to feature some of the league's up-and-coming talents. For Drexel, Cam Winter is one of 2 players in the CAA. Keeping company with DeJour Bowie is always a good thing, and Winter is averaging over 16 points and 5 assists per game, just as Bowie is. Meanwhile, James Butler has anchored the post for the Dragons, leading the CAA with over 11.5 rebounds while adding 13.5 points. On the other side of the ball, for UNCW, Shaquem Phillips has run the point in his freshman year and ranks 1st among CAA freshmen in field goal percentage, is 2nd in steals, and is 3rd in assists per game. And Martin Linson is going to be tasked with battling James Butler down low. The sophomore recorded his 2nd double-double of the season in the Seahawks' last game, a win versus Charleston.
The Colonial takes over the Capitol. Join us March 7th through the 10th at the Entertainment and Sports Arena for all of the action and excitement in Washington, D.C. as 10 CAA teams battle for a berth in the NCAA tournament. It's the 2020 Hercules Tire CAA Men's Basketball Championship. CASports.com will have all the information you need regarding links to live stats, video, and audio coverage this week.
You know, and as always, you can continue to follow the league on Facebook and Instagram by searching CA Sports. We're also on Twitter at CA Basketball using the hashtag CA Hoops.
That is it from us today, but guess what, Bill? We're going to be back on Friday with a special edition of CAA Hoops Weekly presented by Geico to wrap up Thursday's action and get you ready for the final weekend of the regular season. Enjoy the games, everyone.